Hey folks, how you doing? Papa Joe here. You know, there's been several of us that have been saying that this whole pandemic, coronavirus, the lockdown, all that stuff just wasn't smelling right. We've called out different things on it that we've seen. You've seen and heard some of what I've thought about it. Now imagine that. The World Health Organization, the one that was so slow to call it a virus and blame China for it, you know, the one that could have saved a lot of these lives and all this that was supposedly being lost, they've came out now and said that if you have COVID-19, the virus, that they don't think that you can pass it on to other folks. Well, imagine that. But yet we was wearing masks. We were social distancing. We shut down the world's economy over this. Now also today, the CDC came out and they have now said that their numbers wasn't accurate. Now, of course, they have an excuse for their numbers not being accurate. And their excuse is, simply put, that it takes so long to get the test results. Really? Gotcha. But the numbers they now have, the correct numbers, they are saying that out of this, 180,000 deaths that we've had here in America alone from coronavirus, they said their numbers are off. And that it's only really about 6% of that 180,000. That puts the deaths from this coronavirus under 10,000. Now, I'm not trying to make light of people that died from this coronavirus. You know, my condolences to the families and all that. However, it still shows plain and simple that we've been played. We've been played big time. Now, according to some news I got, and I haven't fact-checked it, if some of y'all like playing that fact-checking, go ahead and let me know if I am quoting bad information. They said that the first patent on the coronavirus goes back to 1999. You remember in the beginning of this, I told you that the coronavirus actually came from America, that it was at Harvard, and that it was sold over there to China, that facility over there was built just for researching this. Well, that's turning out to be true. It's turning out that back in 1999, when this was patented, and there were several patents put on it, they patented the virus, the testing of the virus, and all kinds of stuff, where they had a monopoly on this coronavirus. Then in, what year was it? Early 2000s. They said the FDA or whoever it is that authorizes them to do this research, I can't think the name of them right now, they said, wait a minute, we ain't liking the sound of this. Something's wrong. So they told them to cease and desist doing their research on this coronavirus. Less than a year later, it was sold to China, or to Wangpong Po, wherever that town is over there where this shit started. That laboratory was built, and the coronavirus went over there. And lo and behold, Dr. Fauci, our doctor here that's been getting on the news with President Trump, the one everybody's supposed to be believing, it turns out that he had some interest in this company, in the American side of it, and the people that was holding the patents. Imagine that. It's also coming out how many politicians, as soon as they found out about it, bought into companies where they could profit off of this. I thought there was laws against profiting off of the wars and disasters and whatnot. Don't they call that profiteering? I'm here in Georgia, and this politician, what's his name, Peru? It ain't quite right, but it's pretty close. It sounds like the guy for the paint. As soon as he heard the news, he sold a bunch of his stock and he bought into companies that make masks and other stuff. Huh. Interesting how that worked. And he ain't the only one. Do you remember a few years back that they put Martha Stewart in jail for what they called inside trading? Aren't these politicians doing the same thing? I mean, stop and think about it. Isn't it the same thing? They hear this information that's for their ears only, and they quickly, instead of coming back home to wherever their home is, they go ahead and come up with the money to invest in companies that will be making whatever is needed for the disaster that they foresee. To me, that's pretty damn low, folks. I'm sorry. That's just pretty low. I think that this whole coronavirus was some kind of a master plan for the one world order. And I think the Democratic Party's right in there with them. I'm sorry. And a whole bunch of big money and names that ain't into politics. They buy politicians. And I think this virus was supposed to be really bad. And with these politicians, mostly Democrats, in the beginning, they was hollering about they needed respirators and all this stuff. And they was trying to make some kind of a big ordeal out of it and blame Trump. And he messed it up on them by getting them respirators. He got them a bunch of them that they didn't use. Oh, we need masks. And he made masks appear. Everything that they was trying to holler they needed to make some kind of an ordeal out of it, he cut them off at the pass. I think he totally ruined their plans. And I'll tell you something else, and I know I probably shouldn't say it, but it surprises me that they haven't put a hit on him yet. And they still may. I think it's going to be some serious issues in our country if they do. I don't think that's going to go over well at all. And I'll bet you $1 to a donut that they are going to continue trying to push this narrative, this story, about how bad off we are. I bet you. One of my pet peeves right now is these large corporation stores, Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, and whoever else is forcing you to wear a mask to do business with them. How'd they get paid off or bribed or threatened or what? What made them change their mind all of a sudden and demand people to do it? Some of these states that are still demanding people to wear masks. They've supposedly made laws and all this. Blew the wife away. We went to Walmart today. She had her mask on like an obedient little citizen. I carried mine in my hand. And when I got inside, I pacified them. I put mine on. Right across my chin. And that got to bugging me, so I just put it under my chin. I had it on. That's all that they say is required, is to have it on. And yes, I still seen people and they're not even wearing them. I hope you all are doing your own research. I hope you're doing more than playing video games and listening to the FM and watching funny little bloopers on YouTube. I hope you're doing some real research on what's going on, because it should be opening your eyes and making you scratch your head and say, what are they going to try next? Because they're not done yet. They're not done yet. This plan has failed to this point. They're still going to try to salvage it. They're still going to try to do something else. Those of us that's been calling out the warnings and calling this fake was not wrong. You need to stop and think, what are they going to try next? They push so many people, we all just lock down so easily because we wanted to believe that our government, our elected fools, would not be lying to us in such a fashion. We was wrong. It's turning out it was a game. Everybody was running around wearing their mask because they wanted to believe our health officials and everybody else. And I've had people tell me, well, you don't understand the science. If you would read the science behind this, I got news for you. Everybody you bring up that's saying this science is backing the coronavirus and all the nonsense, I can find someone that's saying it's bullshit. Because if you bring me a doctor that is claiming all this about wearing a mask and all and this antidote, they've got a vaccine that they made in record time. Really? It takes years to do this. And President Trump is even saying, oh, well, we've done it in months. We've set records. That still makes me scratch my head. I trust Trump. But it still makes me scratch my head and say, how did they do that? Mr. President, do you know how they did that so quickly? Do you think that when they got this patent and they worked on this virus, that they might already had the vaccine? I think they may have. I think we've been played big time. I think we need to wake up. I think we need to fact check our government. That's all I got for you tonight. I just wanted to tell you. Me and Grandma was researching it today and listening to some stuff. And it ain't like I just seen it on a video somewhere. Well, I did. I seen the video of the individual heads that I was speaking of saying it. And if you'll go to my Facebook wall, Simple Living with Papa Joe, the videos are up. You can see them for yourself. And they'll make you scratch your head and say, huh. All right, I'm going to leave you alone. Y'all remember, good Lord loves you, and so do I. These politicians and some puppet masters behind the scene, they don't love us at all. They're playing us. We're nothing but a pawn in their game. Y'all have a good evening now. Watch them. Do your homework. Bye.